What's the mood today as they go through film and pick apart a
I mean, obviously, not where we want to be, but there is a bit of optimism in looking at the film and realizing that it's not, anything major. On the offensive side of the ball, from looking at it, anything major that we're doing that's losing us the games. It's just little things that we can correct within each drive, within each position group, um, that are the difference between winning football and losing football. So,
Do you have a specific example of that?
do I have a specific example
From the film, and something that you saw today where you were like, okay, this is this.
Yeah, I can point it out myself. Had a wide zone play where I tripped and stumbled. I should have just stayed on my track and bounced it outside. Like something as simple as that. That ended up being a no game play. I mean, I'm one broken tackle away from scoring. So literally stuff like that. That's all just a matter of me locking in on my details and it's focusing on what I'm coached to do. I was coached to stay on my track, and I didn't do that. So something like that could swing the whole momentum of a game and carry out a drive can turn into a 3-and-out just like that. So.
Roschon, it's just when you're in game, like you said that you're coached to do that, but does it kind of just get lost in the mix of everything when it's all kind of happening split second, or how can you best explain that?
Yeah, I mean, as you go within the ebbs and flows of the game, you really just got to remind yourself of what you've been coached to do, and that happens in practice. The more you can detail it in practice, the more you won't make those same flaws, and the more you can rely on your instincts of what you've been trained to do. So the moment you start getting away from that, things like that are bound to happen. So now, I mean, looking back on it now, I know from the things that I messed up on, things that I can kind of control and focus on more within practice to make it habitual. That way, those types of errors aren't happening in the game.
You had a long losing streak in Texas 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that you can apply here? Were there any lessons about sticking with it or about keeping a good attitude or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of different and dark roads you can go down mentally when you're on a losing streak. But the main thing was to hone in, on details and making sure we stay as close together as possible to give ourselves the best chance to go out and get a win. So yeah, I mean, from my time at Texas, it comes down to the same thing. The details that we're focusing on throughout the week in order to execute it the best we can within the games.
How hard is it to not let that frustration kind of overcome you, though?
I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's human nature to kind of get down on yourself, and then not only that, but try to X everybody else out that's talking bad, or however you want to call it. But at the end of the day, um, I mean, we're set out to do a job, and that's to go and win games. But in order to do that, we got to take it a day at a time. So just eliminating distractions and focusing on what we have to do is the best we can do.
Roschon, you guys talk a lot about the lack of execution the first 3 weeks, but you guys are having good practices and detailed. Can you put a finger on why the execution is lacking on Sundays?
I mean, I think it just boils down to practice, like practice habits, and then on top of that, when we get certain looks in the game, just making sure we're relying on our training and technique. I mean, you can go through practice and execute it all day, but when you get in those moments, making sure that I'm making it, my first instinct to rely on what I've been taught and rely on what I've done. I mean, it's easier said than done. So, yeah, it's just a matter of reminding yourselves throughout those moments in the game, and just forcing the issue in practice.
Roschon, as a guy who's been a leader in your life coming up, how do you make sure that as players collectively, the message from the coaches continues to resonate with the group, even when the results aren't there to give them the validity that you probably want them to have?
I think it starts with the players. I mean, regardless of what the coaches say, regardless of how we take it, I think our main thing is to address the mistakes within us. So that's being real with ourselves in each position group and holding each other accountable, regardless of what anybody else says first. I feel like that's how you ultimately grow and ultimately see changing results, is when the person that's actually playing on next side you is holding you to a higher standard than anybody else. So I think that's the start.
In the locker room yesterday, we're talking about just the urgency that's there. You obviously feel it. How do you describe what that's like at this point of just trying to get a breakthrough so that the positive vibes can be part of the equation?
Yeah, obviously everybody wants to win. Nobody on this team is okay with losing. So, obviously, like we're put in a position to where like your true character is gonna be revealed. So, that's why I feel like a lot of guys, are so eager to get this win, but at the same time, you can't necessarily look to the result of what's gonna happen. You just got to take it day by day and rep by rep, and ultimately the result's gonna be what it is. So, yeah, everybody's kind of eager in that sense and kind of wants to push the issue, but at the same time, we know we got to look at it just one piece of the puzzle at a time.
I realize you don't want to look ahead, but the team you're playing just gave up 70 points. What does that give the offense some hope? Does that weigh in on this equation at all? That they're coming off a really historically bad day.
That was last week in Miami, who they played. So in reality, it has nothing to do with us. The fact that they scored 70 don't mean we're gonna score 70. So regardless of whatever they went through, I'm pretty sure they're feeling very similar to how we're feeling right now. So none of that really matters. This is about how you execute when it's your time to execute. So I think that's going to be our focus. And I know that I'm going to try like hell to, make sure that's the focus within the whole offense and try to help spring us to better execution and just going out and getting a win.
How have you seen Justin deal with this poor start? Obviously, you guys are all feeling it, but he probably feels it more than the rest of you. Have you seen him kind of handle it?
I think he's been poised about it. I haven't really seen him change up or act different about it. I feel like he's going to work every day, and has put his best foot forward. I know he gets a lot of heat and hate from a lot of different outlets, but what I've seen, I haven't seen him flinch in any sense. We're going to do our best to make sure he's supported and make sure he can go out and play ball. So.
Thanks, Roschon. Appreciate it.
TJ, what stood out this morning when you guys reviewed the tape?
Yeah, anytime you're watching tape and you lose, no matter what it looked like, it's never a good feeling. But it's something you gotta go through. It's something you gotta put on the board so everyone can see. Everyone take their accountability for what happened, and you find a way to grow from it. That's the biggest thing right now. Is again, we're not getting the outcomes that we want, and that's really all that matters in this league. So there's a sense of urgency to get that stuff fixed, and you could feel that this morning for sure.
Have there been opportunities for you and Tremaine to make the type of splash impact plays that you guys both want to make that just you've been close, or what have you kind of seen in terms of? I know you want to get those, but
Yeah.
How close are you guys to getting some of those?
Yeah, no, I feel like we are, and I feel like as a unit, we're close as well. I think it's just going to take, again, I think the start of the games have been big in terms of kind of getting a jump start on that and making a big play on defense to kind of, spark this thing. But, I think there's been times where we've had opportunities and, we just haven't maybe been off on our alignment or some things like that. But, we're close, and you can feel as a defense that, that's our goal. We want to make those plays. We want to take the ball away. We want to create, steal a possession and things like that. And it's going to take what we do on the practice field every day to get that done for sure.
Matt Eberflus was telling us that the way to fix this is just everybody, hone in on their own responsibilities and try and get a little better. When you lose the game Sunday by the score that you lost it by, and just on the season, your point differential, I think, is the worst in the league. How hard is the buy-in of, hey, if I just fix this little thing, everything will get better? I think people who aren't football players look at it from the outside and go, really? Is that going to make that big a difference?
Yeah, I think that's the easy conception, right? That it's like, but for us, it's really this game is all about details. This game is all it's all about inches, man. It's everything is so technical in this league, and if you're off by a hair, you could miss a play, you could miss a gap, they could break a run off those things. So for us, it's just being on our details exactly to what we're supposed to be doing, and that to me that comes in the walkthroughs and the meetings, and then going to execute that on the practice field, and which we've done, which we've seen us do. It's just more so when we get in the game, it's everyone making sure that we're on our rules, making sure that we're detailed on what we're doing, and when we come off the field and we see things we need to change, we change them. So I think again, it's just going to come down to us doing the basics better, honestly.
in understanding that it is Patrick Mahomes that you guys went up against yesterday, but obviously they ran up a pretty high point total. How do you account for what was going on with the defense yesterday and how they were able to just score at will?
Yeah, I thought, like run game wise, I thought we were actually decent. I thought we were solid in terms of point of attack. I thought the D line did a really good job in the run game and things like that. But for us, I think it's been a focus that we've had is really those third downs and getting rid of those explosive passes, and that's everybody. That's from the rush to the back end of the linebackers. That's everyone doing their job to so we can get those things hammered down so that we can get off the field. A lot of drives where we've had chances to get off the field. We've had a third and manageable, and we're not doing it. So it's finding a way to make those things happen so that we can get off the field and get our offense out there and get this thing going.
And in real time, when that's happening, how deflating is it, especially against an explosive offense like Kansas City?
I mean, yeah, anytime someone's driving on you, it's not what you want for sure. But I think again, it's one of those where they're a good team. We knew they were going to make some plays and things like that, so we weren't discouraged by that. It was more so, just I felt like early in that first half we just couldn't find a way to get off the field, and that's as a defense we pride ourselves on that. So we got to find a way to get that done.
As somebody who grew up a Bears fan, you understand what the outside world sees, or the people in the city see
Yeah.
when you lost 13 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
How do you embrace that? Do you tune that out? And what do you think just getting off of this losing streak would do to people?
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I'm from here, so I get it, and I understand the media and how it all works, But for me, and I think the mindset that we have right now is just focusing on our next week. I think we can't really control what people are saying and what the passes look like. But for us, all we want to do is change what's happening right now, and that just takes us coming in here every single day, coming together. I think again we've done a really good job of that throughout this time of coming together. Just now, so we just got to go out and execute, man. Really.
You lost 3 games all last year. Your last one. What did you learn about that season, even through the winning, that you can apply here when you're in the middle of a streak like this?
Yeah, I think a lot of those games last year were they were close games that you just happen to make one more play than the other team at the end, and I think that's the biggest thing right here for us is playing complementary football. Helping each other out so that we're all have energy. We all are feeling good. We all are in a rhythm. And I think that's big time. I mean, there's ebbs and flows of every game, and there's highs and lows. And the biggest thing is those good teams find a way to pull those ones out. And right now we're focused on just again everyone doing their job to the best of their ability, and we'll be just fine. We have the pieces. We have everything we need. It's just putting it together to have it show up on the field on Sunday.
We all know about the next man philosophy and what comes with that, but you guys were so optimistic in August that if you could everyone playing together at full strength, that this defense would really go. And now we're heading into October and it still hasn't been full strength. How frustrating has that been collectively to just not have had that opportunity yet to figure out what you actually have?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, that's football. It's one of those to where stuff like that happens every single week in this league, and I think that's why we've done a good job of not just the ones going all the time. We always have the twos going and making sure that they're getting the looks they need to, because we need everyone. That's the game. You never know how it's going to shake out, or if someone goes down, God forbid. But that's kind of how it happens, and you can't miss a beat when that does happen. When guys go down, next guys to be in and get ready to go. Obviously, you'd love to be at full strength, but it's the reality of this league. It's tough, and we just got to find a way to whoever's out there, and we got confidence in anyone who goes on that field for us, and just finding a way to get that done, make sure that we're not skipping a beat with that.
Obviously, you had a lot of rookies and even second-year guys who played yesterday with injuries and just guys who are stepping up.
Yeah.
Anybody that kind of popped on tape? Anybody that's impressed you that maybe people aren't noticing yet?
Yeah, I thought honestly, I thought the DBs had a good day. I thought the D-line did some good things. I thought Smitty had a good game. I thought, and again, a guy just came in and worked his butt off. I think Reek's been really, really good, and Jalen and Elijah Hicks. I think all those guys had moments, like really good plays in this game, and that's what it's going to take. It's those guys stepping up. Smitty, a kid who came in and worked his butt off from the start, and it's showing up for sure. So it was good to see, no doubt.
Collectively, how do you keep an entire group kind of invested and bought into the messaging from the top when the results aren't there to give what the messages are validity?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with that is that's policed by the team, in my opinion, by the guys in that locker room. It's one of those to where, you know, when we're out there playing, we got to have that that same mindset, you know, that we're all on the same page and things like that. I think the messaging's been great. But at the end of the day, you know, the guys in that locker room are the ones that got to go out there and got to go do it on Sundays. And so I think internally we've been having really good conversations just in terms of where we're at and where we want to be. And, you know, because we've seen it, man. We've seen it all through camp. We saw it, you know, moments of it. You know, we've seen what this thing can look like. So there's, again, I think that optimism is big time. Now it's just understanding that there needs to be a sense of urgency to make it happen on Sunday because we gotta turn this around for sure.
TJ, how do you and just the rest of your defensive teammates find consistent ways to create pressure? Because obviously it hasn't been there through 3 games, but how can you kind of manufacture to find that?
Yeah, I think that goes kind of, you know, both ways. I think it's one of those to where we hold up in the back end to give our D-line time to get there, and also just mixing up looks so that the quarterback kind of has to, you know, get through his progressions a little bit quicker, and also bringing guys to where we can do that. And I think, again, something that we were talking about a lot was disguising last week. And again, thought we had times where we could make plays, and maybe we were just off on our detail a little bit in terms of execution, and it didn't happen. But those things come, in my opinion, when the front end and back end's, you know, working together. And I'm excited to get to that for sure.
Thanks, TJ.
Thanks.
Appreciate you guys.